Our culture has evolved through time, and some of its behaviours are represented through fashion. British culture is dominated by consumer culture, which is fostered by industries within popular culture that encourages us to spend large amounts of our disposable income on clothes to keep up with this season's trend. Fueled by the myth, you get what you pay for, many consumers just buy into big brands for security because of their status and establishment of the brand. Practice that represents this is Black Friday, an event where some large brands promote heavy discounting to encourage consumers to buy into a possibly unfamiliar brand, which is more about how it is priced than its status and image. The positive side of this is that consumers are more able to purchase branded goods that they aspire to own, which feeds into their own self-image. Black Friday occurs on the last payday before Christmas. This cultural practice encourages excessive materialism around the Christmas period. This makes parents and gift givers feel obliged to provide expensive high-end gifts for their loved ones, as opposed to showing a kind gesture. These new cultural practices are seen as losing sight of the meaning behind Christmas. Theodore Adora believes that consumerism is replacing religion in society. He states, "Shopping malls are cathedrals of consumption, with more people shopping on a Sunday than attending church. This indicates the idea of consumerism and shopping has more value than religion in today's Western society." Goffman's theory states, "The world's a stage and all the men and women are merely players." He divides identity into 6 stages. One of the stages is performance, which is how a persona is created and whether it is sincere or cynical. The fashion industry is notorious for the power it holds over society. Those in control of fashion houses create performances for the consumer that projects both sincere and cynical messages. Sincere and cynical performances control how we create our persona. Cynical images are often created by the higher end of industry, for instance, controlling their brand identity through body image. The majority of high-end brands use size 0 models to reflect their aspirations of their target consumer. It is a stereotypical myth that members of lower culture have a less healthy well-being than those in high society. Giles Quick, director of Cantor World Panel, who tracks the shopping habits of a sample of 30,000 British households, said the data showed British consumers had effectively cut their ties to the kitchen. Quick said that the recession and the pressure of modern life had changed both the way that consumers shop and their relationship with food, in a way that was causing many to eat unhealthy and resulting back to serious public health problems such as obesity. This suggests that those that exist in a lower income subgroup are more likely to be overweight than those in a higher wage bracket, who in theory have more disposable income to spend on better quality food. Haute couture only provides for body sizes up to size 14 and in some cases even lower. This is their way of protecting their brand image. Fashion houses create preferred readings of the product to control their garments by making them only accessible to those of a certain body size. High street industry appears more sincere by trying to promote a more realistic reflection of body image. However, it's not all doom and gloom. Fashion is also renowned for making statements to encourage changes in behaviour and stereotypes, such as the Flapper movement, which was an early feminist movement in the 1920s. America's New Woman participated in previously unheard of womanly behaviour, such as smoking, wearing makeup and body waxing, as well as wearing the outrageously short dresses and skirts which all measured above the knee. This type of behaviour represented a revolution for women and their contribution in society. They were no longer domestic appliances, but courageous icons for success and glamour. Alexander McQueen quoted early in his career, "I want people to be afraid of the women I dress." This signifies his drive to give women power in fashion and to dominate in confidence wearing his couture garments. His garments have revolutionised statement fashion, communicating both powerful and political messages. A more recent example of this is Beyoncé's Super Bowl performance promoting the Black Lives Matter campaign, which targets current racial discrimination issues and crimes in America. The following performance will explain Beyoncé's role at Super Bowl
Beyoncé's
2016.
halftime performance was a major political statement. Here's why. While Queen Bee is used to stealing the spotlight with her magnetic dance moves, her halftime performance was so much more than just a good show. It was a powerful homage to Black history, activism, and the current climate of racial instability, in front of an audience of over 100 million people. Beyoncé and her team of Black female backup dancers stormed the field sporting natural hair, leather outfits, and black berets reminiscent of the Black Panther uniform. Beyoncé's choice in attire was no accident. The radical Black political group, the Black Panthers, was founded in 1966, making 2016 the 50th anniversary of the organization's formation. In fact, the Panthers started in Oakland, California, less than 50 miles from Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Beyoncé's military jacket also paid homage to the king of pop, Michael Jackson, who wore a similar outfit during his 1993 halftime performance. Beyoncé's mom, Tina Knowles, even posted a behind-the-scenes pic of the team making the Black Power salute backstage. The performance's choreography also made a statement, as the dancers' formation was in the shape of an X, thought to be a shout-out to civil rights activist Malcolm X. Beyoncé belted out.
Subcultures are a smaller group of people who share distinctive forms and values within a wider culture. Fashion is a representation of which subculture an individual belongs to. The notion of subcultures is a thermometer for society's political climate. For instance, the punk movement in the 70s and 80s, punks rebelled against youth unemployment in society, using their appearance to shock and deviate from the accepted norms at that time. Deviance was channeled through bold and somewhat intimidating fashion statements such as mohawks, leather and bondage, illustrating their desire to promote a very different self-image compared to those of adult society. Subcultures exist and refuse to be incorporated, moving on to new trends when the original ideology is adopted from mainstream fashion. They aspire to stand out from popular culture. However, this makes them a target for prejudice when other members of society stereotype them in a way that individual dresses, and automatically putting them into certain subcultures. This is an example of how fashion can communicate aberrant readings. I don't find myself fitting into a distinct youth culture as prominent as punks or rockers. I feel my current generation lack experimentation and confidence to rebel due to academic and financial pressure. Current youth culture appears more straight-laced compared to our parents, as we're encouraged to focus more on our future as opposed to our current situation. This could be why there doesn't appear to be any dominant youth culture for young people today. Most young people tend to wear what is worn in adult society, which is not as iconic as previously set subcultures. Current youth fashion is hardly radical, with very few new concepts being promoted. It's more of a repetition of our parents' generation, but made more wearable. Ideally, fashion should not control an identity, but enhance it. It's a way in which you can control your appearance by expressing your personality. Fashion for those who create it is a way of channeling their identity. World-famous designer Alexander McQueen channeled his culture, personality and mental illness through many of his garments. He pushed the boundaries of fashion in ways to explore his identity and change fashion. For example, McQueen's controversial launch of Highland Rape in his 1995 debut show, which introduced to the world not only the designer's trademark bumster pants, but also his fierce national pride. The model's torn garments and blooded bodies identified a fury, but this was no endorsement of rape. It was an exploration of Scotland's turbulent history with England. The show was a controversy to British media. McQueen tore down the rules of convention in fashion, which was not only unique to the industry, but true to himself and his nationality. My personality has been enhanced by my fascination and study of fashion. I've always been encouraged by my mum to express my personality through the way I dress. The personality I construct is dependent on my social context. I use different items of clothing as paradigms to represent my identity. When constructing my outfit, each item is selected in order to communicate my ideal self. I reject all other possibilities in order to personalise my image. Roger's concentric circle states there are 3 levels of the identity. The first is the public self, where most commonly displayed outfits that I wear to college, which lack my personality, as it's more important for me to conform with the dress code at college as I would normally just wear jeans and a jumper. My private self is the fashion I share with my close family and friends. My closer friends share similar taste in clothing. I thought I could be more experimental with the sense of assurance that there will be no judgment. My core self is the part of my identity I don't share with anyone else but myself. For example, trends and apparel that appeal to me but don't fit the persona I've adopted. These 3 levels of my fashion persona are impacted by self-esteem. It's harder for me to have confidence wearing clothing to wider groups knowing that I will only be accepted by my close circle. Fashion and the flexibility to stage trends have improved my self-esteem because it has encouraged me to take on different roles through my clothing. Growing into these roles allows me to express my personality and experiment as well as having a security of an already established trend.